If you run a professional B2B service and lead gen has been an issue for you, I'm going to share with you how you can start getting high quality leads so fast that it feels illegal. And I'm not talking about junk leads like job seekers or irrelevant leads. Maybe you sell a B2B service and you're getting a lot of individuals that are coming through your funnel. We're going to be sharing 3 strategies that we've been using to book 75 to 80 calls per month for our own business and upwards of 300 calls per month for our clients. So here's a common mistake. If you run a professional B2B service-based business, you cannot market to everyone on planet Earth. And time again, when I'm speaking to accountants or lawyers or consultants, they share with me, the generic sort of ads that they run and how it never gains traction. And this is something that we see when marketing is far too broad or generic. If it isn't speaking to a specific type of person, you're not going to be able to get an emotional reaction. And emotional reactions are what we need in order to inspire someone to take action. So if you're speaking to everyone, you're actually speaking to no one. And everyone is the silent killer word of marketing. So what marketing is simply placing a message about your offer in front of a selected market. And once you've placed your offer in front of your ideal market that you're after, you then monitor how they respond to that message and you adjust that message until there is resonance, until that market is taking you up on your offer. So it's a game of trial and error. You're continually iterating your message until you are resonating with the market that you're after. But let's get into the 3 strategies. I'm really excited to share with you. I think strategy number 2 is going to be one of the greatest things you can do for your business. Strategy 1 is covering the basics, and then strategy 3 is more of a long-term play. So my promise to you is that by the end of this video, you will know 3 effective ways you can increase the quality of your leads within the next 72 hours. Strategy 1, basic building blocks. Now, I specifically worked with one credit rescue firm, and this was something that we implemented for him because previously he was taking anyone who had applied on his website. But what we set up was increasing application friction, so adding more questions, but especially number 2 is verifying emails and cell phone numbers. So you can actually do this with inside of Facebook. You can set up a lead form that is able to verify phone numbers. If you're using something like JotForm, you can do an email verification on your forms, which is really awesome. But point number 1, the increasing application friction, I want you to think of it like this. You want to be adding just enough questions to create enough friction that only those who are relevant pass through. But it's a game of balance because you don't want to be adding so much friction that even qualified people are like, dude, I'm not filling out your 20 questions. This is ridiculous. So what we like to do is start with around 5 questions. 4 or 5 questions. And we like each question to cover one of the IBM's BANT, B-A-N-T. So what B-A-N-T is a qualifying criteria that IBM founded that is to this day one of the most effective lead qualifying frameworks. So BANT is B-A-N-T, that's budget. So what is your budget for the service? What is your estimated budget range? What is your turnover? The second is authority. So are you a decision maker? Does anyone else need to be on this call? Does anyone else need to join this meeting? What is your position? What is your title? That's authority. Need. So need is how important is this to you? As in, what is keeping you up at night and what are your goals? Is this something that you need to do? Is this something that you want to do? Is this a need or a want? Like, is this a bleeding neck problem or is this something that you can live without? Then T is timing. So if we were able to help you, is this something that you want to get done in the next 7 days? Is this something that you want to get done in the next 30 days? Or is this something that you're looking for in the future? So with Bant, we're essentially getting a sense of the lead's needs and urgency and also their qualification. Okay. Now, strategy number 2. And like I said earlier, I believe this is going to be the most immediately implementable strategy that you can use to increase your lead quality in the next 72 hours. And this is something called speak their language. And I was talking to another agency owner about this as he was struggling with some of his lead quality. And I get this question a lot during my consults with my clients is, Ben, how is it that we can attract the type of leads that we're looking for? And what I share with them is that if our leads are Chinese, we need to speak Chinese. If our leads are Mexican, we need to speak Spanish. If our leads are English, we need to speak English. If our leads are Italian, we need to speak Italian. And what I mean by that is that when you're going after a certain segment of the market, they will care about a specific type of problem and they will use specific types of language. So an example, I've got a client who deals with law firms and he does accounting and advisory for law firms. And because of this, we know that one of the biggest pain points for attorneys and law firms is trust account compliance. So if you are a plumbing business, do you care about trust account compliance? If you are a logistics business, do you care about trust account compliance? The answer is no. So what we need to do is find out what words does your ideal customer use to describe their goals and their current pain points so that you can speak their language. So let's look at some examples. So how to speak the language of higher quality prospects. Example. Scenario 1. Let's say that you're a person that sells commercial painting. So ad A might say, get your office repainted today at 30% off. That could speak to someone who has a home office, a one-bedroom office, a solopreneur, and it could speak to someone who's a discount seeker, someone who doesn't have much budget to work with. Now, ad B says, recolor your corporate building with your brand, and then it says clients we've worked with, and you might show a whole range of logos or people that you've partnered with. And it's important to note that ad number A will get you a higher volume of leads, but ad number B will get you a higher quality of leads. So what I mean by that is that when your ads are more expensive with ad B because you're speaking to less people and you have higher quality leads coming through, you're going to spend more to start a conversation. So imagine for ad A, you're spending $10 to get a lead. But for ad B, you're spending $30 to get a lead. But here's the thing. You might be able to increase your prices by a factor of 5, or you might be able to increase your conversion rates by a factor of 5. And because of that, there will be a net positive in your business's revenue and growth because you are going after higher quality prospects. So higher quality prospects are harder to obtain and more expensive to obtain generally, but they result in more growth and more revenue. Let's use scenario 2, a person that sells accounting. So ad A might say, get your tax and accounting done on time. Very generic offer. Ad B might say, we grow blue-collar businesses with expert VAT refund support and equipment write-offs. What's great about ad B is that I'm speaking to an industry, blue-collar businesses, and then I'm also speaking to a pain point that is relevant to businesses across a certain revenue threshold. So VAT refund support. That is only relevant to businesses that are producing revenue exceeding the VAT threshold. And then equipment write-offs. I'm speaking to a pain point that is only relevant to a type of business that is regularly spending on equipment for work, knowing that they're an active business. I hope this is making sense. But you want your wording to have certain implications and connotations that relate to revenue, activity, and company size. Let's talk about scenario 3, a person that sells estate planning. Ad A might say, protect your legacy with professional estate planning services, whereas ad B might say, leave your legacy with your family instead of the government. We helped 30 plus families save on $5 million combined in estate duties. Now, how can you do this for your business? So what we're going to be doing is a very short writing exercise. So here's an example, and I want you to fill in the blank with your own offer. You have ideal customer achieve a benefit without the pain point, and you have helped X amount of people achieve that same result, and they can learn more by call to action. So they can learn more by messaging you, calling you, booking a call, sending an email, coming into your location. So here's an example. Accountants can book 5 consultations per week without having to speak with time wasters. We have helped 20 plus firms achieve a 300% average lift in lead flow. Learn more by booking a free consultation below. Strategy number 3, and this is more of a long-term play, the authority game. So there's 3 short stories I want to share with you. It was one of them is my client, and 2 of them were just once-off consultations. And what they were doing was leveraging their expertise on social media. Very simple thing you can do, right? And here's the game. You develop a list of 100 frequently asked questions by your ideal customer. And once a day, you answer those questions and you post that on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or LinkedIn. I had a consultation with a lady who had 20,000 Instagram followers, and she was in law and wealth relocation. And she was doing this on Instagram, just simply answering questions in the comment section, posting those videos, and she was getting daily inbound leads into her DMs and through her website. Similar story with a tax advisor that I was speaking to, and he had about 90,000 followers on Instagram. And what he would do was literally sit in his car with his shades on, and he would answer questions on TikTok and just add auto captions. Now, if you're a professional, you probably are nervous about doing this because you want to look professional, you want to look sharp. But the reality is, social media is a place to relax and be social. It's not a place to try hard. It's not like LinkedIn. It's not like a corporate setting. It's you sharing your expertise with people in need. What's awesome about this is that over time, as you run ads, as you grow your business, you are becoming a thought leader. You're becoming an authority figure. And naturally, you will spark higher quality networks and partnerships, and higher quality leads will apply, and you'll have demand. That's what's awesome, is they'll begin applying to work with you. So you can become selective over who you bring on as a client. And the third story was one of my clients who said to me, Ben, how can I do this? And what we did, so he deals with expats. And what we did was we specifically found some of the top expat groups in the US, the UK, Germany, France. And we identified what were the questions that were being asked the most in those groups. And we developed a few content pillars for him to then post on Facebook and essentially post valuable insights in these groups. And he's actually been signing and quoting clients in some of these expat groups by doing this exact strategy. So becoming a professional thought leader is about posting valuable content, having a consistent brand, being professional, but also being genuine and authentic, being a human, and becoming a master of one topic. I want you to pick 2 to 3 platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, or YouTube. For me, personally, it's YouTube, and then I also post a bit on Twitter. For Instagram and Facebook, I just run ads. But for you, I would recommend starting out with either Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, something where you can post short form 30 to 60-second videos answering a question and then adding auto captions. It's built into the app. You don't need to know how to edit, and you literally post that without thinking. Okay? And over time, you're going to attract followers and likes, and eventually you will be getting inquiries from this channel. And it compounds, which is awesome. And then what's great is that when people then come from ads and they search you up and they want to learn more about your business, you then have, 100 bite-sized conversation starters that they can watch to build trust with you. But that is everything today. So just to recap, the 3 things that we can do is increase form friction and ad verification. Number 2 is speaking the language of our prospects on our ads and on our branded material and our website. And then number 3 is becoming a thought leader by answering frequently asked questions in your industry on a consistent basis. Those 3 things alone, if you commit to doing those over the next 3 months, your business and your revenue will be unrecognizable, and you can start implementing many of these things in as little as 72 hours so that you can get some quick wins as well. But thank you so much for watching. It's been great having you this morning. And if you want to learn more about what I do and how I help B2B service providers level up their business with consistent inbound bookings, you can click on the link in the description to learn more about what we offer. Thank you and take care. Bye for now.